Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I read
Trash.
book 1 of Lord of the
Is
Rings.
it?
Not necessarily Fellowship of the Ring. I read book 1 of 6.
So half of Fellowship.
Half of Fellowship. Dean was right. This one actually does go.
Yay!
It is.
Hold on. So I just want to make sure we get the.
We're gonna
full
get a lot of
volume
trouble.
on this gutter.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, we're gonna get in a lot of trouble.
Let me just have a look at the first page, because I think I've tried to read this before. I want to
Well,
check.
there's your answer. You tried and you failed. Okay, so I am judging it entirely based off of book 1. Right? So I'm not going off of, like, obviously I've seen the movies. I have very critical opinions of those. However, I do think that Fellowship is a generally decent movie.
I don't remember it well enough to disagree, to be honest.
Yeah. And it goes downhill from there. But,
Yay.
in my mind. However, the book for Fellowship is... Nothing happens. It's the same length as The Hobbit, which I did give a yeah to. Because I thought The Hobbit was at least fun and exciting, even though...
That made me sad.
Yeah, well, even though, like, Tolkien has this issue where he will introduce a situation and it goes nowhere. So, basically, you'd have 13 dwarves, none of them are relevant except for one in The Hobbit, and then they get captured by goblins, and then they leave, and then they're captured by spiders, and then they leave, and then they're captured by elves, and every single time Bilbo has to save them. It's like, okay, this is just redundant.
So that's called bad writing.
Basically. But at least I had fun. I'm like, okay, at least Bilbo's a fun character. The situations at least are kind of wacky and interesting. So I did at least enjoy those a bit more. This one, he tries to make it for adults, and so it's serious and doesn't have that fun bit as much anymore. It starts off all right. Like, they did talk, like, the party at the beginning and discussing the rings is quite nice. But yeah, it takes them 100 pages to start the journey.
Okay.
So there's like waiting for 17 years for Gandalf to come back and tell them the things that he's figured out. So there's not really a lot of pressure to get rid of the ring. One thing I heard was that Tolkien did not know what he was doing with Lord of the Rings until he got to Rivendell. So he did not know what he was doing with Lord of the Rings until book 2.
I see.
Okay.
So book 1 is a bit more meandering. What's the crack with the ring, though? I don't know what it does.
Have you not watched movies?
I don't remember them.
Okay, so basically we find out that Bilbo has a ring that turns him invisible. But then we also learn that these mysterious Black Riders are after Bilbo.
Bilbo's the guy from The Office, right?
Yeah, sure. Yes, it is Martin Freeman, actually. That Office.
Yeah.
But we find out that it's a bit more nuanced than that. It is basically wanted by this defeated king from hundreds of years ago called Sauron. And
Christopher Lee.
No, that's Saruman.
Oh.
Saruman does not show up in this book. He is mentioned on one page, I think.
Okay.
So, also Sauron's barely mentioned in this. We don't know much other than the Black Riders want it and want to take it to Mordor.
Okay.
That's basically it. So, the entire book after that is being chased around by Black Riders. Some things are like, well, they just kind of go to someone's house and they kind of stay there to hide out for a bit. And then they go into an old forest where, like, this was all cut from the movie because it is quite irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, half, if not, like, 2/3 of book 1 was cut from the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the movie's already quite long, no?
Yeah.
3 hours.
God.
Not the extended edition.
They extend...
All of them are about 4 hours. So yeah, you go through the old forest, and then they're attacked by trees, and then one of them almost gets taken.
The Ent, wasn't it? ENT? Is that what they're called? The tree race?
It might have been Ints in this case,
Yeah.
but they're not called Ints at that point. They're just like mysterious trees in this forest that don't like hobbits. And so, like, they try capturing them and taking them into their trunks and stuff. And then this guy, Tom Bombadil, comes and sings songs and saves them. And he's apparently some magical creature. He puts on the ring and doesn't disappear. But then Frodo puts on the ring, and Tom Bombadil is able to see him. goes nowhere.
I always love lack of consistency that is then not explained. That's fantastic.
Yes, it is never explained as far as I've heard. It is not explained in this. They're just like, yes, he's too strong. He can't help us. So they're just trying to... he's like, I will not go with you to Mordor because of reasons. So he would be able to do this all immediately, most likely.
What's the point of it all? Like, they're trying to destroy the ring?
Yeah. They want to destroy the ring in the Mount
Mount
Doom.
Where did it come from? We don't know yet.
It was made by Sauron
Okay.
hundreds of years ago, and if it gets back to him, it would basically revive him, is what it sounds like. I don't think that was really clear in the movies either. Like, how does the ring getting back to him revive him? But Gandalf's been missing this entire time. He's quite relevant at the beginning, but then they get to... it all actually gets somewhat a bit more interesting when they get to the Prancing Pony on page 200. So you see where I'm coming from here. This book 1 is about 285 pages, so the last 80 pages were at least a little bit better, because then they meet Aragorn and start trying to sneak through the forest to get to Rivendell away from the Black Riders. Frodo gets stabbed, and then they have to quickly get to Rivendell, the place where all the elves are. But for them, it takes them, I think it's like a fortnight to get there. Mm-hmm. In the movie, he's going to die basically right away, so they have to get there in the day, within a few hours. So you feel like there's not much pressure, like outside pressure. Like, you have to get going, you have to keep moving.
So that's the second time.
That's why the movie, I think, does it better.
Is it just kind of slow paced then and meandering?
There is a bit of meandering for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. About half to 2/3 is meandering.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's because Tolkien apparently didn't know what he was doing with the story yet.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's an interesting way to write a book.
Yes.
Just dive in anyway.
Not ideal.
But I was also looking into the publishing that Tolkien wanted, and the first editor he went to said, right, you need to cut this. This is too long. Like, there's just nothing going on. And I'm like, yeah, that editor was right, though.
That editor was right. Yeah.
At least for book 1. Hey, it might get better in book 2. I think I still will read it, just because it's like, I still should finish Fellowship.
Yeah,
like,
that was going to be
book.
my question. Are you going to finish it next month?
I'm not super excited. This one goes down the gutter. It's not offensive like Flashman, for sure.
1 second.
You really like it. But you can tell that it's just, it doesn't know what it wants to be. And, like, it really should have been cut down.
Okay.
Yeah. I know there's going to be a lot of flack, and it's like, oh, but this is setting up so much world building. And yes, like, the world you are getting a bit of, but then it gives you more questions than answers about this world. It's just like, yes, then on the other side of this river, there's this town, and we never go to it.
We never go there, yeah.
Or there were these old, like, in the old times of men, they used to live on this, in this area. It's like, okay, you going to tell me a story about them? Like, it's world building without depth a lot of the time.
So people are going to be mad.
Yes, very much so.
But it's okay for them to be wrong. It's garbage, and I already predicted that.
I have to disagree with you too. I just can't put that book down.
Okay, let's hear from Charlotte. Why is it good? Is it because you're a dragon and you want to read some
because
dragon
Legolas
novels?
was my first crush. Okay.
He's also not in book 1.
No.
So,
but without Tolkien and his fabulous stories, we'd never have had him. So.
you would have had Orlando Bloom, though.
But without the hair, what is he?
Then he's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Completely pointless. He has no good hair.
And hair is part of it, I think, for sure.
Yeah, son of Bootstrap Bill Turner, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Anyway, it's difficult to judge it because I've only watched the movies, and the movies were awesome, obviously. Well, except
No,
for
I would disagree with that. They were
true.
god-awful.
The spin-offs.
I fell asleep in at least 2 of the 3.
The first 3 were awesome when we were younger, but I don't.
No, I don't
those
think
later
Fellowship
ones
is the
those-
only one that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them in the
actually,
wrong
you might
order.
be
that
right,
didn't
yeah.
help.
But then Two Towers and Return of the King... Two Towers is nothing to me. Return of the King actively makes me angry.
Yeah, I
But-
actually do agree.
So
Hobbit, I heard, was just a miserable... set of
Hobbit,
movies.
I thought was okay, but I did fall asleep, so maybe I missed a lot of it.
I'm going to make a very, very big claim here. I think the better movie is the Ralph Bakshi movie. The animated Lord of the Rings, I think, is
Oh, wow.
because
I've not
it
seen
is it has so much character to it.
Yeah.
It has so much love put into like the animation for it. It was done with rotoscope, so they would hire these actors, film them, and then animate over them. Like, I think that there's so much artistry and that it really brings a lot of character to it. Frodo does something.
Yeah.
In the movies, he doesn't do literally anything except for walk.
Yeah.
It feels like. So he is a pretty terrible main character. That's why I think the animated one does a little bit. He actually like stabs.
I literally
like,
don't
terrible
remember
singer.
anything from the trilogy apart from like little weird looking hobbit dudes and like a grey haired wizard dude. That's my entire 3 movies summed up in like that's my only memory of it.
Sir Ian McKellen is amazing. Christopher Lee